couldn't even tell you how many Magneto statues I've owned.
Previously on Xmen.
I guess I could just count those. But today I'm very excited because this is the first of 3 more amazing Magneto statues coming to the table. And I'm going to tell you right now, this one is absolutely unbelievable. It damn sure better be because it cost over $3,000. As the Extreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we are giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the Extreme channel as we look at this amazing custom 1/4 scale Magneto statue. So a custom means it's not licensed. It's not from a company like XM Studios or Sideshow. It was a private unlicensed commission. I think they only made 35 of these, and he is finally here. Also, this statue only came as a kit. That is an unpainted statue. No, Mrs. X didn't paint this because I bought this way before she started painting statues. And if you're new to the statue game, or if you've been in it for a while, you know that it's incredibly difficult to find a good painter. And when you do find them, you usually wait years sometimes. So this has been in the hands of one of my top 3 favorite painters. Yes, my wife is one of those. Carlos Fariza Rodriguez, who has done a number of pieces for me. I want to say this is probably the 7th or 8th he's done. And as usual, it is spectacularly done. I'm going to let you guys know right now, of all the Magneto statues I have, this one very well may be my favorite. But as I said in the intro, I actually have 2 more coming. One is this piece right here, which Carlos also has in his hands. And then this guy right here, actually I have the UP, is being shipped to me right now. So if you're unfamiliar, Magneto is, most of the time, a bad guy. He's a bad guy in the Marvel Universe. He usually opposes the X-Men. He really believes in mutant superiority. So he was kind of a racist because he didn't like humans. Oh, I said it. But I'm so excited to have him after such a long time. And you know the cool thing about getting statue kits is this truly is one of a kind. No one else is painted exactly like this. You're probably already noticing that he has a red cape where a traditional Magneto is usually purple. Well, guess what? There are some switch out options. So Erik Lehnsherr, which is his real name, has the ability to control metal and magnetic fields, which doesn't sound very powerful, but he is actually one of the most powerful mutants out there. Think about it. Everything around us is metal. He can essentially kill you just by thinking it. And if you've seen the Fox X-Men movies, you know that he has quite a bit of power in there as well. So today we're going to do an in-depth review of this guy. We're going to score him using the scale, even though I can tell you right now, expect a lot of 4s and absolutely a lot of 5s. Like I said, this may be my favorite Magneto statue, but I don't know if it's going to hold its place when I get those other 2 pieces in. And while I've sold quite a few of my Magneto statues in the past, I still have this one, which probably, let's be honest, is still the king. And this one right here was actually painted by Carlos as well. All right, so let's start with concept with this guy. Now, as I said, there are a number of different switch out options we're going to look at during the design portion, but they don't really change the concept too much. So on the base here, you have a rock-like base. You can see the dirt underneath it. You can see the broken concrete or gravel on top of it. You can see the rebar coming out of it. He's obviously controlling the metal, and then he's actually creating a magnetic field behind him as well. He's standing with his legs spread, which there's definitely some jokes in there. His cape is flowing in the wind, no matter which cape you have on him, looking very powerful. You know, a lot of times the comic Magneto is really bulked out. This one is very bulked out, but not overly bulked like a lot of people do, so I absolutely love that. He has his traditional costume with a little bit of flair and art direction that Carlos took, looking very powerful, very strong. He's got his hand outstretched, a magnetic field is starting around that. This particular portrait, he's actually screaming. There is an awesome light-up feature we're going to look at too. So this tells me he can control metal. His presence is so powerful. I love the incorporation of magnetic fields, which you typically don't see, especially in licensed statues. So I love it for Magneto. To me, it is a 5 out of 5 on the concept. This is exactly what I want. The only thing missing is him levitating, which as you saw, I'm actually getting the counterpart product to this that was made with this where he is actually floating as well. So this is focused on a Jim Lee design, but let's talk about some of the other design stuff that goes on with the traditional aspect of a statue. So first, I think let's look at the unboxing and assembly. It was an absolute monstrous box, mainly because of the capes. Had a little bit of an art box on the top, which is kind of cool. It consisted of 2 layers. The first layer was essentially the capes and the magnetic force on the back. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but the second layer had the base, body, heads, and some of the other pieces. So as you saw, quite a few display options. Let's look at all those. The left hand can have the magnetic field coming out right here. Or it could just be a normal hand. For me, the normal hand's going right back in the box. Now it does have a light up feature where essentially you stick a flashlight right here, a tiny flashlight that never turns off apparently, unless you take out the batteries, inside the arm. However, for at least mine, you had to turn off all the lights and you could still barely see it, so it's kind of useless. Also, the arm does have a little bit of a seam line. You can check it out right here. There are 4 portrait options. Let's look at those. So first is a helmeted screaming one. This is definitely my favorite, but it's very similar to the large Magneto on Sentinel piece I have. And just like that one, it has a very cool light up feature. And to me, it looks a lot better with the light up feature than without. Here's another helmeted version of Magneto. This one's going to go back in the box for me. I still think it's done really well, and we're going to look at it close in Paint and Sculpt. Then you have a Magneto without a helmet and the whited out eyes. Very cool, very serious look. And another very serious Magneto, very Jim Lee-like, with normal eyes. I know I'm going to keep this portrait out, and I know I'm going to keep one of the unhelmeted ones, but I don't know which one. So the last option we have here is the cape. There are 2 different capes that flow in different directions, and also Carlos painted them different colors. So the first one is the one we're looking at here, the red one. And I like this because it's different, so I'm probably going to stick with this one, but I also love this purple one. So right now how I have it, I think is my favorite display, but I'm pretty close on the rest of them, so we'll see how I end up displaying it. If you want to see, check out the Extreme Channel Instagram, Facebook page, and TikTok. The link is in the description below. So as you saw in the assembly, putting these in was kind of a pain, and I had a little bit chip off when I was trying to insert one. You can check it out right here. And the same can be said about one of the steel plates in the back. Not really a big deal, but definitely want to recognize it. This guy is very large. He's supposed to be 1/4 scale. He does look a little bit bigger. The widest point with the items sticking out is a little over 18 inches, which of course you can remove all those items sticking out. The deepest point is about 17. Without that rebar, it's probably about 13.5. Then the tallest point is just under 20 inches, and the base is 2, so that means Magneto is 18 inches. That equivocates that he's 6 feet. So this actually is pretty accurate for 1/4 scale. I think it's just his wide stance that makes it take up a lot of room, but I like that because it helps show the presence of him. So in summary for design, I love the display options. I like his presence. I think it's a 4 out of 5 on the design. Nothing really I can't fault him for. I think the flashlight was a little bit of a fail, but I rarely use light up features anyway. Now we're going to dive into Paint and Sculpt, and this is amazing. I think this is what makes the statue. There's some really cool things. Check it out. All right, before we dive into this guy, I want to look at the switch out, starting with the portraits over here. Like I said, I really dig these portraits. Let's talk about the paint first. Amazing. Look how clean it is. Look at the detail in the eyes, the painted in stubble. The layering in his hair, just fantastic. And the same thing can be said about the sculpt. Just really, really well done. I love every part of it. I like how it shows his age, his seriousness. Love them all. And really quick, here's the other cape. Look at the paint job on this. The blues to blacks to purples, the layering and the shading. It is just awesome. The collar's very similar on both, so we'll look at that. But now to the star of the show. So the rebar on the outside looks fine. The yellow coming out and the silver painted on. Not really a big focus. Same thing with the metal sheets down here. I like them a lot. I like the wear he put on them. Cool radioactive danger sign on that. I don't know if, obviously he stenciled that on, but cool little effect he did. It helps mix it up, the statue, a little bit. And I like how they added a hint of purple, so it kind of melds in with the effect back here. Now, if you're not going to have a translucent magnetic field, I think you do it just like this. I like how the colors layer, and as you get to the outside, it's more of a silver blue, but it appears like it becomes translucent. Pretty cool. The mud dirt on the bottom looks great. I like the black and brown he added in there. And the sculpt on top of this is fantastic. And then where the concrete is broken up, that blue magnetic power, like airbrushed. It almost looks like it's airbrushed in there. I don't know. But that looks awesome. Then you can see the yellows and browns and grays and whites and blacks on the actual concrete. The base is awesome. So up here you have your traditional Magneto colors. We got the blue, and you know, as we look at the uniform, like I said, he's not overly bulked. And I like that. And as usual, in the seams and in the crevices of his muscles, you usually have like a dark shading. That's on here as well. Super clean on the paint. Then he has his outside underwear, and there's these tiny little details in the sculpt. Of the seam right there, the folds. Really nice job. Same thing can be said about his arms. Silk piece of. And his hands, the gloves, you can see the folds in there. Now the belt he wears, this is how he traditionally flies. He controls this with the metal, and I like the weathering that Carlos did on this. So you see some silver and black mixed in with the shiny purple. Same thing with this collar up here. Now here on the chest, I like the darker red, black color he used on the V. This is my only complaint with the sculpt right here. I'm not digging how the anatomy looks in the middle, which Frank was amazing with anatomy. So it's probably accurate. It's not my favorite. Be the one thing I'd criticize. And then here again is the magnetic field. And I like how this hand, it's no longer the blue glove color, but it's kind of got that silver paint all over it, so you know it's creating the magnetic field. And then let's look at this cape. A lot of the same comments about how they layered in, you know, the shadowing. It's just really one big color of red on the main part. Then in the crevices there, you have a darker red with a black on top. See a little bit of his hair in the back there. I like the shine on the helmet. I prefer a shiny helmet for Magneto. And then we'll move up to this portrait. Phenomenal job. Look at the mouth. Look at the paint detail on that. I like how the blue around the eyes. Like I said, this is it looks better with the lights on this portrait. So I'll definitely be switching up between this and another portrait. Huge fan of the piece. Blew away my expectations. All right, paint, as you guys saw, easily a 5 out of 5. And this really shows the difference between factory paint and a professional painter. You know, clearly, even though my wife probably isn't watching this, if you are, I love you. My wife, hopefully she can get to this level someday, but amazing paint. I'd probably give this a 6 out of 5 if that was possible. Sculpted by one of my favorite sculptors who did my other favorite Magneto that I have, and actually the other two that are coming in. I'll have 4 Magnetos sculpted by him, and he autographed mine. It's like the 4th autograph I have of his. I could sell them and be rich. Wait, Mr. X, you are rich. Oh, yeah. So, Sculpt, back to that. It's amazing. A little bit unsure, like I said, about the anatomy on the chest. I like the fact he's not overly bulked. I think the Sculpt's a 4 out of 5, almost a 5 out of 5. I really dig the portraits. I think they make this statue. Value. So this one and the other one together ended up being about $3,000 all in for both of them. little bit more than that. Plus you have to add shipping, and that's shipping twice because you ship it to a painter, then you ship it to yourself. Then you have to add for the painter, but you're right around $3,000 all in for this. Like I said, I think they made 35 of these. I can never remember. One, they made more of them. One, they made less. $3,000 for an amazing Magneto statue. I think I could get my money back if I was patient. Now, there's a lot of competition with Magneto. Like I said, this one is simply amazing. I wasn't planning to keep him, honestly, because I ordered him so long ago. But now that I have him, I'm definitely keeping him. I think the value in the end, though, is 3 out of 5. I mean, like I said, I think I can get my money back, but honestly, you can get an amazing Magneto statue. Maybe not as good, but for half the price. We will be giving all of these statues away, plus additional ones at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. So does this have the X factor? Is this an attention grabber? Is it awesome? Yes, it is. This is a 5 out of 5 statue without a doubt in my mind. I absolutely love it. I think the paint really makes it pop. It'd be interesting if it was a poor paint job, would I still think that? But this is badass on every level. The sculpt, the paint, the switch outs, the display, the concept. It attracts me so bad. So guys, really appreciate it. If you liked this, make sure you've hit that Mr. X picture down below and you've hit that bell notification to see the other things that are coming in so you get notifications. To get in that contest, make sure to hit the like button, make sure to drop me a comment, and check out this other video. Take care.